Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a stabbing at a local high school sends a 14-year-old to the hospital.
Plus, an overnight fire destroys a mobile home and displaces 3 people.
And Victoria police arrest a man accused of unlawful possession of a firearm.
We are waiting for a cool front here, but Florida is waiting for Helena to come slam into the coastal areas of Florida. We'll have the latest on that storm coming up in a moment.
And Victoria East Titans ready to challenge the Unicorns. Yes, the Unicorns. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Shawna Currie.
The Victoria Independent School District and local law enforcement held a joint press conference today to address a string of recent threats by students. Victoria County Sheriff Justin Marr and other local leaders were there. They say every one of these threats are taken seriously and could result in a student facing a misdemeanor or even a felony. Sheriff Marr says his office has detained 12 students in 6 weeks. That's 2 incidents per week, keeping his deputies busy.
And just as the VISD held that press conference, the sheriff's office had 2 more incidents in the district today.
One involved a student at West High School who had to go to the hospital following a stabbing. Authorities detained another student in the assault. 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting joins us with more details. Trenton?
Don, Shawna, thanks. Today, Sheriff Marr confirmed a stabbing incident on the Victoria West High School campus that left a 14-year-old student in the hospital. Sheriff Marr says the student's injuries were not serious and the student is expected to make a full recovery. He also says his deputies detained a 15-year-old student in connection with what he described as an assault. Sheriff Marr did not reveal what was used as the weapon. The West High School campus was placed on a hold while law enforcement handled the incident. A hold means students and staff must remain in their classrooms and parents are not allowed to check students out and should not go to the campus during that time. The Sheriff's Office also responded to an incident at Victoria East High School today. We've reached out for additional information on both incidents and are waiting to hear back. Don, Shawna, back to you.
Trenton, thank you. This evening, 3 people are displaced after an overnight fire destroyed their mobile home. This happened in the 100 block of West Crestwood. Victoria Fire Chief George Gomez was at the scene just after 2 a.m. today. Chief Gomez says firefighters suspect the blaze was caused by an overheated air conditioning window unit.
The Victoria Fire Department will be collecting smoke detectors to safeguard homes throughout Victoria. Through the month of October, as part of Fire Prevention Month, collection boxes will be set up at both Victoria Walmart stores. Those will be put in on October 1st. Residents can donate new smoke detectors. Fire Chief George Gomez says the department's goal is to put smoke alarms in 90% of Victoria homes within the next 3 years. You can also request a smoke detector by contacting the Fire Marshal's office at 361-485-3460.
A former El Campo police officer is suing the El Campo Police Department. Freddie Douglas was fired after he was arrested on a rape accusation last December. A Brazoria County grand jury declined to indict Douglas on the allegations last March. Douglas is suing for wrongful determination and discrimination. He is asking for back pay, interest on back pay, damages for emotional pain, suffering, and more. The suit claims the decision to fire Douglas was racially motivated. Victoria police arrested a 39-year-old man on 3 charges Monday. Christopher Smith of Bloomington is charged with unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. He is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $60,500 bond. The DPS arrested a 37-year-old man on human smuggling charges in Wharton County Monday. Rogelio Ibarra is from Fremont. He is in the Wharton County Jail in lieu of $15,000 bond.
Lavaca County is now under a burn ban. Commissioners put the burn ban in place on Monday. This is the second burn ban for Lavaca County this year. The first was lifted on August 30th. Any person caught burning in any unincorporated areas of Lavaca County may be fined up to $500.
2 people died in a landslide after Hurricane John slammed into Mexico's southern coast Monday night. The National Hurricane Center reported John hit the coast with maximum sustained winds of 120 miles an hour. John weakened to a tropical storm. It will continue to produce life-threatening flash flooding along southern Mexico for the next few days. And now let's take a first look at your forecast. Here's First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis. Mac is looking at John, but also looking at a storm in the Gulf.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's going to be a big story for the East Coast. As far as we're concerned, we're looking for that little frontal system to come in tomorrow afternoon and give us some very nice days. We're the beneficiaries of being on the backside of the storm, and we're going to be talking about that. Also, we'll take a closer look at where Helene will slam into Florida, and that's as soon as Thursday. We'll have all that coming up in a moment. We'll toss it back to you.
All right, thanks, Mac. Well, a Tennessee mother solves her daughter's murder, convincing police that her daughter's death was not a suicide.
An arrest in this case was made in Texas.
April Holtz, a young mother and wife of Donovan, was found almost lifeless in this apartment complex on Cane Ridge Parkway with a plastic bag taped tightly around her neck. She later died at Southern Hills Hospital. Holtz's mother, Jamie Dickerson, was torn apart.
I would do anything to have her back. Anything. She's my baby.
Nothing could bring her daughter back, but Dickerson could bring her daughter justice.
What led you to believe that Donovan killed April and it wasn't a suicide?
I knew that April was unhappy. I knew that she requested a divorce 2 weeks prior, and then she was dead 2 weeks later.
Dickerson spent months doing her own investigation after she says police refused to believe her.
This is the first autopsy stating that she had put the bag over her head and that it was suicide.
The key piece of evidence is this. Only Donovan Holtz's fingerprints were found on the bag and tape.
That is when I confronted him and he confessed to me. And so that is when I went to the police.
Metro detectives questioned the husband and got a confession. Holt was arrested in Texas last week. He's charged with reckless homicide, false reporting, and tampering with evidence. The autopsy report has been amended to reflect the cause of death as homicide instead of suicide.
I feel like they've failed my family. I have had to fight at the same time as grieve my daughter.
And Texas is set to execute Travis James Mullis this evening. He's a Brazoria County man who sexually assaulted, strangled, and stomped on his infant son's head until he died in 2008. You can read the full Texas Tribune article by visiting our website, crossroadstoday.com.
The Texas Commission on Environmental Quality is holding a public meeting tonight on a proposed water use permit to divert water from the Lavaca River. The application was filed by the Lavaca Navidad River Authority, or LNRA. If approved, the permit will allow an LNRA to build and maintain a dam and reservoir that will supply water for municipal, industrial, and mining purposes in Calhoun, Jackson, Matagorda, Wharton, and Victoria counties. The meeting begins at 7 tonight at the Edna High School auditorium. And now for today's viewer poll. Should LNRA build a dam to divert and store water for industrial use? Yes or no? 68% of our voters saying no, they should not be allowed to build that dam. 32% say yes, and look how it's changing. Now the no's are 66%. They're changing again. Thank you for voting continuously while we're on the air. We love that. And we want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we'll have the latest results on 25 News Now at 10. City leaders in Bastrop are preparing for the arrival of X, formerly known as Twitter. Owner Elon Musk is moving the X headquarters to Bastrop from San Francisco. Bastrop City Manager Sylvia Carrillo Trevino says the city is prepared for the growth that X's relocation will bring. The new X headquarters in Bastrop will be near Musk's infrastructure and tunnel construction company, the Boring Company. The only time anyone's ever called Elon Musk boring.
Right. Well, remember to subscribe to our Crossroads Today YouTube channel. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so you'll get alerts when we upload new video. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 6, 2 schools in Kentucky are banning backpacks in order to improve campus safety.
Also ahead, the Secretary of State is urging House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman to retract his subpoena amid Afghanistan investigation tensions.
Hi, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs with the Victoria Police Department. Victoria Crime Stoppers is seeking information concerning an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. On August 27, 2024, a 27-year-old black male was shot at the 300 block of Sam Houston Drive. The victim was transported to the hospital in a private vehicle. The suspects were described to be one female and 2 males. One male was wearing a green hoodie and the other male was wearing a black hoodie. Both males were wearing masks. The subjects possibly left the location in a silver or gray Nissan. If you have any information about this aggravated assault, please call Victoria Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200. You can also submit a tip by using the P3 Tip app on your Android or Apple device, or by visiting our website at www.crimestoppersvictoria.com. All tips are anonymous, and if you give information that leads to an arrest or charges being filed, you could earn a cash reward. With Victoria Crime Stoppers, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs.
Welcome back. A school district in central Kentucky has banned backpacks at 2 of its schools.
Now, school administrators say they believe this can help improve safety in the short term, and some parents are on board with the change.
Nearly a week ago, district leaders say a McNabb Middle School student brought a loaded gun to school, causing the district to make some policy changes and increase safety measures.
But our students are resilient. They came in today, they were able to make those things work that they had determined over the weekend, and they're ready to learn today.
Montgomery County Schools Superintendent Dr. Matt Thompson says a new policy they kicked off on Monday was banning backpacks for students in middle and high school. Students are allowed to bring fanny packs, purses, and lunch boxes, but they have to abide by these guidelines shared by the school district. Thompson says this isn't the only change these students are seeing this week.
The second was having an increased law enforcement presence that was visible to everybody. And the third was using our fantastic community. We were able to put together some teams of parent and community volunteers who have been helping in our middle school and high school today.
Those volunteers include parents like Megan McCormick.
I think that they are doing everything in their power to make sure everything is in place in order to keep our kids feel extra safe moving forward.
And while parents like Whitney Green agree with these measures, she says more needs to be done.
They need wands at the cheapest. Before they get the metal detectors put in, they need wands for the school resource officers to wand the children down.
A lot of those things are not things that can happen in a very quick time frame. And so being able to put something in an immediate short-term strategy, that was the thing that we looked at.
Thompson says the district is looking into long-term safety measures as well.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken is urging House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Michael McCaul to withdraw his subpoena. The Texas Republican threatened to hold Blinken in contempt if he does not appear at a hearing this week. It's part of the committee's investigation into the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. Blinken says he is willing to testify but is in New York for the United Nations General Assembly.
Mandatory evacuations are now underway in at least 7 Florida counties. Tropical storm Helene is threatening to hit as the strongest storm to make landfall in the United States in over a year.
Helene is currently swirling through the northwestern Caribbean Sea and will set off on a breakneck pace of strengthening in the hours ahead.
We always say, hide from the wind, run from the water.
Potentially life-threatening levels of both are bearing down on the southeastern U.S. this week. In Florida, local and state leaders are assuring the public Tuesday they're prepared for what's coming and a warning to take this storm seriously.
We go through training. We have experience with this. We have high water vehicles. All of that is in place. The question is, are you in place? Are all your plans ready to go?
Helene is expected to rapidly intensify over warm Gulf waters, on track to make landfall on Florida's northern Gulf Coast late Thursday, possibly as a Category 3 hurricane.
The Big Bend and Panhandle should be especially prepared for a direct impact.
This hurricane will have tropical storm force winds in excess of 250 miles from the center.
Florida's Emergency Management Executive Director says those winds will encompass the state's entire western coastline and stretch to the Atlantic side across most of the peninsula.
Go ahead, get those preparations done today. Make sure your entire family knows that disaster plan and what they should do.
The Tampa to Big Bend area was hit hard last summer by Hurricane Idalia, which roared ashore as a Category 3 in late August with record-breaking storm surge and devastating property damage.
This potentially could be even more powerful than Idalia. We'll see.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Well, we are going to certainly take a look at the storm and exactly where the path will take it. For us, we are waiting for the cool front that comes in tomorrow, and that's going to be really nice. 92 currently. We think that our high temperature was 96, yes, and that compares to 89, which is where we're supposed to be this time of year. However, the cool front is going to knock the temperatures down a little bit. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about Helene coming up in a moment. Stay tuned. We saw a few scattered showers around the area, but they were very light, as you can see right about here. toward Ganado and on up to Wharton. Actually, the heaviest stuff is down south. There you see Corpus Christi and all that tropical stuff there. But tomorrow, as the frontal system finally gets into our area, we're going to see another kind of a thin line of showers come through with it. And then after that, it's all gone. We're going to be looking at dry conditions, northerly winds, very comfortable temperatures for the next few days. Here's the first front that came in. That's the one that gave North Texas a break. Here's the second one. That's the one that's going to make it all the way down to the coast and give us a break. It's going to give us a north wind and big high pressure pushing all that down into our area. Believe me, the latter half of this week, you're going to say, wow, this is nice. We should keep it. And in fact, the storm, the frontal system is going to help keep that storm going to the east. So I'm talking about the tropical storm. Tomorrow's high temperatures still a little on the warm side, about 93 and 97 in San Antonio, but look at all West Texas into the 80s. They're having a good time. They're not going to have a good time in Florida. Here is the center of the storm. You can see how that big blob of rain is beginning to wrap itself around. This morning, the hurricane hunter went down there, flew through it, and found an eye. So it's definitely a circulation. It should be a Category 1 sometime later tonight. And then by tomorrow, when it's in the middle of the Gulf, it is forecast to get up to a 3. So this is going to be a really big problem for all of the Florida coast. Already hurricane warnings are up from Apalachicola all the way down to Tampa. Of course, all of this area is going to be getting the surge, and that is the most dangerous part of the hurricane. The winds are not going to be anything to sneeze at. They're going to be probably at 110 miles an hour. So it's going to be almost exactly like Idalia going right. Oh, here's the interesting part. I believe the center is going to go over Tallahassee, the capital city. Will get almost a direct impact from that system. So let's take a look at our weather. We're looking really nice, looking at 92 tomorrow. The gentle north winds, they're not really related to the front. That'll be a little bit later. 92 out in the Cuero area, and here by the time we get to Thursday, you'll really feel that north wind blowing in. Cool, dry air, sunny and mild in the day and nice and cool at night with low humidities, making the evenings very comfortable, getting down a few in the mid 60s. That's pretty exciting for us. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that. Put Crossroads Today on your phone. And here's Shawna.
All right, thanks a lot, Mac. Well, Max Williams joins us now with a look at what's happening in the sports world.
Yeah, Shawna, we got volleyball tonight here between the Cuero Gobblers and the Calhoun Sand Crabs. They battle at the net tonight in volleyball. That's coming up in sports. Now the Victoria East Titans are 1-3 under first-year head coach John Ford, and they're hoping they can get their first win in district play versus New Braunfels this Friday. They have star quarterback Kason Coley, who will be back. He's ready for the big stage.
Compared to last year with coaches and staff and everything, but they did a good job with the transition and stuff, and I think we're on a good pace right now, and we just got to get going. Solid team, but like Coach was saying, they're nothing we haven't seen before yet. We just got to play our game of football and to our best ability and focus every play, and I think we have a chance to come out to the W.
Coley and the Titans are looking to regroup after their loss to Seguin, and they're going to try to get back on pace versus the Unicorns this Friday night. Now, even though Victoria East is playing in our game of the week, we wanted to highlight a couple of players that are in the Crossroads area as well. And the question for our viewer poll today was, who will have a standout performance here in Week 5? And your options were Edna wide receiver Braylon Harris, quarterback Bryce Oldman, or Yoakum wide receiver Xavier Barnett. And a high majority right now is going for Braylon Harris here for Edna right now. And again, still a little bit there for representation for Xavier Barnett and Bryce Oldman. We'll see how it looks going into 25 News Now Sports at 10 p.m. Now from football to volleyball, we have two matches here in the area. And the first one we're going to look at is Victoria West. They play Gregory Portland tonight at Victoria West High School. West heads in this matchup 27-4, and they just came off a sweep versus Victoria East in 3 straight sets. They're looking to keep up the momentum, and some of the star players is junior Emily Parker and Kristen Kotek, who will be players to watch out tonight. Again, they also host Terry High School at home on Friday night. Another volleyball matchup here will be between the Cuero Gobblers and the Calhoun Sand Crabs in Port Lavaca. Cuero heads in this matchup 23-11. The Gobblers are heading in on a 1-game losing streak after they lost to top team in Goliad last week. But for the Sand Crabs, they have an outstanding year right now. They're 26-3 right now, and they're on a 2-game winning streak over Bowling and Toulouse Midway. And former Athlete of the Week, Neva Rangel, she's been outstanding as well for the Sand Crabs. We'll see if they can get the win tonight. And finally, over to the MLB, the Astros looking to bounce back versus the Mariners at home tonight. First pitch will be at 7:10 p.m. The Mariners, it took game 1 6-1 over Bryce Miller, throwing 7 shutout innings for the Mariners. And the Astros, there's still a 4-game lead here in the AL West, and they're trying to hopefully clinch this up this week. It's the last week of the regular season. Framer Valdez is on the mound tonight. It's 15-7 overall and a 2.85 ERA. That's going to do it here in sports. Don and Shawna, back to you.
Thank you, Max, and we're back in a moment. The end of an era. The last full-size Kmart in the continental U.S. is set to close in October. Attention Kmart shoppers.
A blue light special.
I've always wanted to say that. Kmart announced it is closing its last full-scale store in the mainland United States.
So no more blue light specials.
That's right. They're turning out the blue light. Yeah, customers still have a chance to visit the store in Bridgehampton, New York on Long Island before it is slated to close October 20th. After next month, all that will remain of the once popular chain in the U.S. will be a small Kmart store in Miami and locations in Guam and the U.S. Virgin Islands. How does Guam get Kmart and not us?
I don't know.
I still remember when we had Kmart here.
It was down the street from here. There was a Kmart down the
where
street from here.
HEB Plus is,
Yes, and then they moved Kmart to that bigger place, but they used to be down the street and really across the street.
Hey, look,
in KV.
I'm still trying to get over Sears Roebuck, okay? Yeah, that one really hurt me because I love the Christmas display windows, you know?
Oh, yes.
Anyway, so times are changing, folks. Well, for us, we've got some nice weather coming in after that front blows through tomorrow. A few little rain showers associated with it. And of course, we're looking at Florida because in the next 2-3 days, and we're talking now, 48, 72 hours, they're going to be under the gun with a major hurricane category 2, maybe even a 3. So we are, shall we say, going to be on the beneficial side of the storm, which is the backside, and that's why we've got some dry air and some mild temperatures.
So those folks in Florida are still trying to recover from Francine.
From last year.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh terrible.
Yeah.
All right. Mac, thank you, and thanks for joining us.
Be sure to join us back here for 25 News Now at 10.